The once tranquil suburban neighborhood of Brampton, Ontario, was jolted on the evening of December 20th, 2023, when two lifeless bodies were found at 247 Elderwood Drive, the Johnson family's home. This two-story colonial residence, adorned with Christmas decorations, became the focal point of a chilling homicide investigation after neighbor Sarah Mitchell reported unusual activity and screams. Officers Matthew Rodriguez and James Chin from the Peel Regional Police responded to the scene. Upon entering the house, they encountered clear signs of violence, including disheveled furniture and shattered glass in the living room. The master bedroom held the body of the first victim, Jasmine Johnson, age 34, lying face up on the floor. Her cause of death was identified as strangulation, with clear marks on her neck from a ligature. Defensive wounds on her hands and arms suggested a desperate struggle for survival. In the backyard, a second victim, 35-year-old Malcolm Brown, a local real estate developer, was found partially submerged in the family's in-ground pool. His body had several stab wounds to the torso and chest, and bloodstains marked the snow-covered concrete near the pool. The position of Brown's body and the pattern of the wounds indicated a deliberate attack rather than an impulsive act. Detective Alana Turner from the Peel Regional Police Homicide Unit took over the investigation. The crime scene presented several oddities that caught her attention immediately. The house's security system had been disabled, and there were no indications of forced entry, which suggested the perpetrator was familiar with the home. Two distinct sets of tire tracks in the freshly fallen snow matched vehicles registered to Malcolm Brown and Corey Johnson. Corey Johnson, age 37, a sergeant with the Toronto Police Service at 41 Division, and Jasmine's husband, was notably missing from the scene. His service weapon, a Glock 22, was also gone from its secure place in the master bedroom. Surveillance footage from nearby homes showed Brown's BMW X5 arriving at the house, and Johnson's Ford Explorer leaving later that night. The Johnson children, Jackson, 12, Ryan, 9, and Layla, 7, were confirmed to be safe at their aunt's house on Enbrook Lane, where they had been dropped off earlier for a planned sleepover. This detail raised more questions about the timing and premeditation of the crime. Forensic expert Dr. Marcus Wong led the crime scene investigation. His team found no evidence of robbery as a motive, with valuables untouched. The controlled nature of the crime scene and the distinct methods used to kill both victims pointed to a well-thought-out attack rather than a random act of violence. Detective Turner issued a province-wide alert for Corey Johnson and his vehicle, marking the investigation as a possible double homicide with domestic ties. This tragic event shook Brampton's Elderwood community, an area that had remained largely peaceful since its development in 2005. The stark contrast between the festive holiday decorations still glowing outside the home and the horrific scene within left a lasting impression on the responding officers. As news of the murders spread, neighbors gathered behind police lines, struggling to reconcile the violent act with their image of the seemingly perfect Johnson family. Corey Johnson's record at the Toronto Police Service's 41 Division depicted him as an exemplary officer. Since joining the force in 2008, he had received numerous commendations for bravery and community service. His supervisor, Captain David Martinez, described him as methodical, reliable, and exceptionally dedicated to both his job and his family. During his 15-year career, Johnson made 847 arrests with only 2 civilian complaints, both of which were dismissed after investigation. The Johnsons had moved into 247 Elderwood Drive in 2010, shortly after their marriage. Neighbors frequently commented on Corey's involvement in local activities, from organizing neighborhood watch programs to coaching youth baseball. Jasmine, a pediatric nurse at Brampton Civic Hospital, was known for her caring nature. The couple had met in 2008 at a charity event for the hospital where Jasmine worked as a nurse and Corey represented the police department. Malcolm Brown became involved in their lives during the house buying process in 2010, acting as their real estate agent. Their professional relationship quickly turned into a close friendship, and Malcolm regularly attended family gatherings, holiday parties, and weekend barbecues. Security footage from the Johnsons' home showed Malcolm visiting the residence about 3 times a week between 2010 and 2023. Neighbors saw his black BMW X5 parked at the Johnsons' house so often that many assumed he was a relative. On December 15, 2022, Jasmine gave Corey an Ancestry DNA testing kit for their anniversary. Bank records showed Corey purchased 3 additional kits for their children on January 3, 2023, from a local pharmacy, and the samples were submitted to Ancestry DNA on January 10, 2023. The results, which came back on February 1, 2023, revealed shocking news. There was a 0% chance that Corey was the biological father of Jackson, Ryan, or Layla. The test results revealed strong European ancestry markers that did not align with Corey's African-American background. Internet search records from Corey's personal computer showed multiple visits to DNA testing websites in the following weeks. On February 15, 2023, Corey ordered 3 additional test kits from 23andMe under different names to ensure impartial results. The second set of results, received on March 3, 2023, confirmed the initial findings. Further computer forensics would later uncover that Corey spent the next few months carefully collecting evidence. His internet history showed extensive research into paternity fraud, genetic inheritance, and facial recognition technology. He downloaded numerous scholarly articles on genetic inheritance and spent countless hours on forums focused on victims of paternity fraud. Financial documents reveal that Corey withdrew $5,000 from his savings account on March 15, 2023, using the money to hire private investigator Thomas Wells. Wells's case files recovered during the investigation contained extensive surveillance reports on both Jasmine and Malcolm, including photographs, travel logs, and cell phone data. The private investigator's notes revealed that Malcolm and Jasmine frequently met during Corey's night shifts, often at a small coffee shop in Mississauga or at Malcolm's downtown condo. The inquiry uncovered a series of text messages between Corey and his sister Linda Marshall from April 2023. In one message, Corey said, "Looking at old photos, how did I not notice it? Malcolm's smile, Ryan's eyes, even the way Lila tilts her head. It's all there." Linda's responses showed increasing concern for her brother's mental state. She repeatedly encouraged him to seek therapy or legal advice, but Corey insisted he needed more evidence. Corey's work performance began to decline in mid-2023. Disciplinary records show 3 instances of excessive force during arrests and several complaints about his aggressive behavior toward suspects. In September 2023, Captain Martinez ordered a psychological evaluation, but Corey kept his composure during the assessment, showing no concerning signs to the department psychologist. However, his co-workers noted behavioral changes as he became more withdrawn, stopped attending social events, and spent long hours alone at his desk reviewing case files. Security footage from various locations around Brampton captured Corey following Malcolm on several occasions between March and December 2023. He meticulously documented Malcolm's daily activities, relationships, and business dealings on his phone. Surveillance footage showed Corey parked outside Malcolm's office for hours at a time, often on his days off. What had begun as a simple DNA test had escalated into a consuming obsession. Bank records showed Corey began withdrawing small amounts of money regularly, amounting to over $20,000 by December 2023. He purchased a prepaid cell phone and used it to track Malcolm's movements more discreetly. His personal journal, later found at his workplace, contained increasingly disturbing entries about betrayal, revenge, and justice. The final entry, dated December 19, 2023, simply stated, "The truth demands action. Tomorrow, everything changes." Private investigator Thomas Wells's surveillance of Malcolm Brown led to a shocking discovery in May 2023. While tracking Malcolm's regular trips to Mississauga, Wells noted frequent visits to 1275 Lakeshore Road East, apartment 803. Property records revealed the apartment was owned by Renee Martinez, a 33-year-old French teacher at Port Credit Secondary School. Further investigation uncovered a complex web of deceit that Malcolm had maintained for nearly a decade. According to public records, Malcolm and Renee met in 2014 at a real estate seminar in Toronto, and by 2015, they were living together in the Lakeshore Road apartment, where they had 2 children, Emma Brown, age 7, and Marcus Brown, age 5. Social media posts recovered from Renee's accounts depicted a carefully curated family life, with Malcolm featured in holiday photos, school events, and family vacations, presenting an image of domestic bliss with no hint of his other life in Brampton. Financial records obtained through the investigation revealed Malcolm's method of managing two separate lives. He maintained two distinct bank accounts, one with the Royal Bank of Canada for his life with Renee, and another with TD Canada Trust for his business and activities in Brampton. Credit card statements revealed a pattern of regular expenses at both locations, including mortgage payments, utility bills, and children's activities. Malcolm had successfully kept up his financial obligations to both families without raising suspicion. The discovery of Malcolm's second family added another layer to Corey's investigation. Cell phone records showed that Malcolm spent approximately 40% of his nights at the Mississauga apartment, typically during times when he told the Johnsons he was away on business trips or attending real estate conferences. He maintained separate wardrobes at both homes and kept different vehicles: a black BMW X5 for his Brampton life and a gray Mercedes GLC for his Mississauga family. Wells's surveillance photos showed Malcolm participating in parent-teacher conferences at Port Credit Secondary School, where he was listed as the primary contact for Emma. School records indicated he was actively involved in his children's education and regularly attended their events. Meanwhile, in Brampton, he also maintained an active presence in the lives of the Johnson children, attending their sports games and school functions. Text messages recovered from Malcolm's phones revealed his careful management of both lives. He used two separate phones, an iPhone for his Brampton contacts and a Samsung Galaxy for communication with Renee and their children. The messages displayed his efforts to juggle commitments, create elaborate excuses, and maintain consistent stories to prevent either family from discovering the truth. Corey's personal journal entries from June 2023 revealed his growing frustration as he uncovered more about Malcolm's deception. One entry read, "He didn't just steal my family, he created another one while destroying mine. Every memory of him playing with my kids, every moment of trust, was a calculated lie." The investigation revealed that Corey had begun his own surveillance of the Mississauga apartment, photographing Malcolm with his other family and documenting their routines. Social media analysis showed that Renee Martinez was unaware of Malcolm's connection to the Johnsons. Her posts described Malcolm as the perfect husband and father, often praising his commitment to their family. Similarly, photos from the Johnson family's events depicted Malcolm as a close family friend, with no sign of his other life just 30 kilometers away. The professional impact of these revelations on Corey became increasingly apparent. His police colleagues reported that he spent hours at his desk reviewing surveillance photos and making detailed notes. Captain Martinez's records reveal that Corey frequently requested unusually long periods of time off, often aligning with Malcolm's scheduled visits. Mississauga's bank records suggest Corey rented a storage unit near the Lakeshore Road apartment, likely to conduct his own surveillance activities. By September 2023, Corey had gathered a comprehensive file on Malcolm's secret life. This file, later discovered in his police locker, included detailed maps of both families' routines, photos of Malcolm with his two sets of children, and financial documents exposing the depth of his deceit. A particularly troubling note, dated September 15th, read, "M maintains perfect parallel lives while ruining mine. The kids in Mississauga are actually his, mine never were. Justice must be balanced." As autumn shifted into winter in 2023, surveillance footage and police records documented Corey Johnson's increasingly erratic behavior. Between October and December, he installed advanced tracking software on Jasmine's phone, utilizing his police department credentials. This spyware, typically reserved for criminal investigations, allowed him to monitor her communications and track her real-time movements. Later departmental logs revealed that Corey falsified documents to acquire this surveillance equipment. Security cameras at Toronto Police Service's 41 Division recorded Corey spending more and more time at his desk during off-duty hours. His computer logs indicated extensive research into undetectable poisons, methods for disposing of evidence, and cases involving justified homicide. Between October the 1st and December 19th, he accessed the police database 147 times, reviewing domestic murder cases and successful defense tactics. On November 12, 2023, Corey purchased a high-resolution camera and listening devices from a surveillance store in downtown Toronto, charging them to his personal credit card. Security footage from the store showed him specifically requesting equipment capable of recording through walls and windows. That same week, he rented a second storage unit near Malcolm's condo at 455 Wellington Street West. Financial records revealed that Corey withdrew $45,000 from his retirement fund on November 28, 2023, converting most of it to cash via numerous ATM withdrawals throughout the Toronto area. Bank security footage caught him making these withdrawals while wearing different disguises, indicating premeditated efforts to cover his tracks. The situation reached a tipping point on December 15, 2023. Surveillance footage showed Jasmine visiting Malcolm's condo at 455 Wellington Street West at 2:15 p.m. Security cameras in the building captured Corey observing from his parked Ford Explorer across the street. His dash cam recorded 3 hours of footage as he watched them through the condo's large windows on the 8th floor. Later that evening, Corey's body camera, which he failed to turn off after his shift, recorded a chilling monologue in his police cruiser. The transcript reads, 13 years. 13 years of lies. Every birthday, every Christmas, every moment with my children, all built on betrayal. They've been laughing at me, living their secret life while I played the fool. This ends now. In the 5 days leading up to December 20th, Corey's actions indicated meticulous preparation. Store receipts showed purchases of rope, plastic sheeting, and cleaning supplies from various hardware stores in Brampton. He visited his bank's safety deposit box 3 times, removing personal documents and family photos. His internet search history revealed research into hypothermia, drowning statistics, and methods for staging crime scenes. Department records showed Corey had requested December 20th off for family obligations. That morning, he dropped his children at his sister Linda's house, telling her they were having work done on the house's heating system. Linda later reported that Corey appeared unusually calm and even helped the children with their homework before leaving. Security footage from Malcolm's real estate office captured Corey visiting him at 2 p.m. on December 20th, maintaining the appearance of normalcy as they discussed plans to watch the evening's hockey game. Cell phone records revealed that Corey sent multiple texts to both Malcolm and Jasmine throughout the day, coordinating what would ultimately be their last evening together. At 5:45 p.m., Corey visited a liquor store near his home and purchased a bottle of Malcolm's favorite whiskey. Store cameras captured him adding an unknown substance to the bottle in his car. Analysis later revealed that the substance was a potent sedative, stolen from a drug case 3 weeks earlier. Surveillance footage from December 20th, 2023, recorded the final hours of Malcolm Brown and Jasmine Johnson with incredible precision. At 7:15 p.m., Malcolm's BMW X5 arrived at the Johnson residence at 247 Elderwood Drive. Security cameras captured him entering through the front door, carrying a 6-pack of beer, his usual contribution to their hockey game ritual. Forensic analysis of Malcolm's phone revealed his final text message sent at 7:22 p.m., reading, "Working late at the office tonight, don't wait up." Meanwhile, Jasmine's location data showed her at the Kelsey Original Roadhouse on Queen Street East, with 3 co-workers from Brampton Civic Hospital. The Johnson home's smart thermostat recorded consistent activity until 8:45 p.m., when movement in the living room stopped. Toxicology reports later indicated that Malcolm's blood contained high levels of Revitol, a strong sedative, and the bottle of Glenlivet whiskey found at the scene contained trace amounts of the same drug. The medical examiner's report detailed Malcolm's injuries, noting 17 stab wounds to his chest and torso, as well as defensive wounds on his hands, suggesting he had fought back. During the assault, he remained conscious, and the presence of water in his lungs confirmed he was alive when he entered the pool. The murder weapon, a Kabar tactical knife purchased by Corey in November, was never recovered. Security cameras from nearby houses captured Corey carefully cleaning the patio with bleach at 9:45 p.m. Later, at 21:35, he changed his clothes, placing his blood-stained garments in a trash bag that was later discovered in a dumpster behind a Tim Hortons in Mississauga. Jasmine's iPhone tracking data showed her leaving Kelsey at 10:30 p.m., and her final message to a coworker at 10:45 p.m. read, Home safe. Thanks for a fun night. She entered the house at 10:52 p.m., triggering the foyer motion sensor. The home smart lighting system logged lights turning on in sequence as she moved through the house, likely looking for Malcolm. Neighbors reported hearing a woman scream around 11:15 p.m. At 22:15, the medical examiner determined Jasmine's cause of death was manual strangulation, with the attack lasting between 3 and 5 minutes. Bruising patterns on her neck matched Corey's hand size and strength. Defensive wounds and broken nails showed she fought desperately for her life. After the murders, surveillance footage captured Corey's methodical actions as he staged the scene, making it appear as though a violent struggle had occurred. He deliberately broke items and overturned furniture. At 11:38 p.m., his Ford Explorer left the driveway. 22:51. Traffic cameras followed the vehicle north on Highway 410. The crime scene, discovered shortly after midnight, revealed Corey's police training in his attempt to manipulate the scene. He left signs of struggle in precise areas, created multiple possible points of entry, and placed the bodies to suggest a crime of passion rather than one that was planned. Investigators also found that Corey had transferred $100,000 to an offshore account on December 19th and obtained a false passport under the name Michael Robertson. International alerts were issued as evidence showed he had meticulously planned his escape, just like the murders. DNA evidence from the crime scene confirmed Malcolm's paternity of all 3 Johnson children, proving Corey's suspicions were correct. On December 24, 2023, as dawn broke, the tragic reality of the Johnson family situation began to unfold. Detective Alana Turner, a seasoned member of Toronto's homicide squad, arrived at 247 Elderwood Drive. Her trained eyes immediately recognized the signs of a crime scene staged by someone with inside knowledge. The case took a major turn on December 26th, when DNA results from the Ontario Centre of Forensic Sciences confirmed Malcolm Brown was the father of all 3 Johnson children: Olivia, 12, Ethan, 10, and Sophie, 7. This revelation provided the long-sought motive, transforming the case from an unexplained act of violence to a tragedy fueled by years of deception. Footage from surveillance cameras, along with ATM and traffic recordings, painted a disturbing portrait of Corey's movements in the weeks leading up to the murders. On November 5, 2023, he was seen crossing the border into Canada at the Thousand Islands Bridge, appearing to carry out a reconnaissance mission. Credit card records showed he stayed at a motel in Mississauga, just blocks from Malcolm's second family. Financial records revealed that on December 1, 2023, Corey had taken out a $2 million life insurance policy on Malcolm, with Corey as the sole beneficiary. This raised immediate concerns, especially given Corey's role as a police officer. The manhunt for Corey intensified as evidence continued to accumulate. Border alerts and international law enforcement cooperation led to a breakthrough on January 2, 2024, when a license plate reader in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, flagged Corey's Ford Explorer abandoned in a long-term parking lot. Security footage showed him boarding a bus heading toward Ontario's northern wilderness. On January 5, 2024, acting on a tip from a local hunter, Ontario Provincial Police surrounded a remote cabin 50 kilometers north of Wawa. After a tense 4-hour standoff, negotiators convinced Corey to surrender. He emerged from the cabin at 2:17 p.m., holding a 9mm Glock in one hand and a manila envelope in the other. The envelope's contents offered a chilling look into Corey's state of mind. It contained a 76-page handwritten manifesto detailing years of suspicion, the pain of betrayal, and his justifications for the murders, along with photos of Malcolm with both families, bank statements showing his double life, and DNA test results confirming his paternity of the Johnson children. During his initial interrogation with Detective Turner, Corey displayed a disturbing calmness. The transcript reveals his first words. "I've given you everything you need to understand what I did wasn't murder. It was justice." Over the next 48 hours, Corey provided a detailed confession, his police training evident in the precision of his account. He described the moment he discovered Malcolm's paternity as the death of everything I believed in. He recounted the murders with clinical detachment, framing his actions as a necessary response to a profound betrayal. Perhaps most disturbing was Corey's lack of remorse. In his mind, the lives he ended were justified compensation for the life stolen from him. "They took my family, my identity, my entire world," he stated. "I simply balanced the scales."